Hello and welcome to another edition of the Get Growing Weekly Work Session with GetOiling. I'm Coach Ashley, joined today by founder of GetOiling, Greg Killine. Hey, Greg.
Hey everyone, really glad you're here today.
We also have the amazing Julie and Colin from our team. Hey, guys, welcome.
Hello.
How you doing, everyone?
And we have a very special guest back here today. We have Chrissy. You know her from Grow Workspace, from her amazing podcast, from KNC Consulting. Welcome, Chrissy. It's good to have you back.
Hey everyone, glad to be back.
So today we have a fun topic. We're talking about creating leverage in your business. So we figured that who better to talk about how to create leverage than an absolute expert in that very thing. Chrissy has multiple businesses. I don't even know how many. I know at least two. A podcast, multiple kids. You run a lot of things. But you are someone who I know really values your family time, right? So we are going to get into how Chrissy is able to run her life and business that way. Chrissy is a Young Living brand partner from a whole family of Young Living people. And so there's a lot here that I think you guys are going to enjoy in terms of what she's going to be able to share with you. I have some slides prepared that I just want to do our housekeeping up top here. But then Chrissy and I are going to chat a little bit about creating leverage. So let's pop out a video, get into these slides real quick. And then we are going to take a look at Chrissy's favorite tips. There's also a time-sensitive, really important thing that you're going to learn about here today as well. And then if you stick around, you are also going to hear about a brand new feature that we have unlocked in GetOiling. It's really exciting. Greg's going to share that with us here today as well. So we got a full call. So welcome. We're excited to have you here today. We're going to be talking about how to create leverage in your business with GetOiling, right? We're going to talk about that first. We're going to talk about Chrissy's favorite ways to get that very thing done. We will also do some demos in GetOiling, actually showing you some of the ways that you can employ strategies, use features and functions in GetOiling to build leverage into how you grow so that you have more time available to do what you want to do, not having a business that runs your life. And then, of course, as always, we do have time at the close of our call for live helping Q&A, and you do get to ask questions throughout the call as well. Just please try to make sure that those go into the Q&A. So if you have those, go ahead and add them there now, even if they don't have to do with today's topic of discussion. You can get on our list if you are watching this as a replay, so that you can join us live on Zoom. We're live every Thursday at noon US Eastern Time. That's getoiling.com/weekly work session. If you would like to work together on a call like this one, you can sign up using this link, getoiling.com/website review. You can select an upcoming Thursday and we can work together on whatever you like. And if you would like a hand getting things done, if you want someone to do some of this work for you, you can go to getoiling.com/concierge to learn more about our team, book a call, and get a quote. So I'm curious, head into the chat and let us know, how do you use GetOiling to work more efficiently? Right? We all know that there are things that we need to do for our business, and there are ways that take a lot of time, and then there are ways that take less time. How do you save yourself time or make yourself more effective or efficient with GetOiling? Would love to hear from you about that. So let's go pop out of our slides here. We'll come back and join you guys. I'm very excited, Chrissy, to hear all of what you have to say. So Chrissy is going to let's first kind of maybe give a little bit of background, and then yes, share with us some of the ways that that you build leverage into what you do or what you see really working well for brand partners.
Yeah, absolutely. And I said I wasn't going to be mentioning my allergies, but here I'm going to be like wiping my eye. And when you were like, she has, multiple businesses. I think they just keep adding on. My husband's launching a new business. So it's like, okay, one more business. Let's just go for it. Right. I took yesterday off, went on a field trip with my daughter's school. I actually slept in until 10:30 today because my allergies were so bad. So, and it feels good to be able to take that time to spend it with my family, to, gosh, for my health, I really need to sleep in and not feel guilty, not feel like I'm falling behind in my work because so many things are set up in a way that functions really well. So we can certainly dive into a bit of that. I saw someone says set up automation. Susie, I would love to hear a little bit more about what automations you're setting up for your business specifically, because we can just say automations and it could be a whole slew of things. So I always like to get into the nitty gritty and see like, what are some of the things that you're doing specifically? But creating leverage in your business. And I love that topic of automations, right? Because I'm all about saving time, working efficiently to be able to do more with less, right? And with GetOiling, you can do so much. So setting up basic automations like growing your email list and sending emails to people, to having people book on your calendar. And Susie says new customer onboarding and putting people through my funnels for all of my freebies. Yes, those are some of like my favorite and golden automations to do. I think one of the biggest things about like building leverage is not overcomplicating things. I have found myself in so many spots and times in business where I start to overcomplicate, and I'm like, oh, because it can do all this crazy fancy stuff, I need to start doing all this crazy fancy stuff. And then before we know it, we're, getting kind of lost in the fanciness of it. And we just have to scale back and keep it simple. Sometimes almost makes all of the difference. I overcomplicated it for so long. Now I do it messy. Yes. And that's another great point, Susie. I love saying done is better than perfect. Do it messy in the beginning. You're not going to have it done perfect. So how many of you are perfectionists, maybe recovering perfectionists out there? That can definitely stop us up. Ashley's like putting her hand up. That can stop us up a lot, right? Perfectionism, wanting it to be great and perfect, and it really holds us back. She said yes. Susie says yes for sure over here. Perfectionist, recovering perfectionist. I love that. Recognition is one of the first steps, right? So I love that. And we're going to be hosting a masterclass here very soon for you all. And we're going to dive more into not just automations, because automations are a really key piece to the business. And we could talk about that all day. I could give you the list of things you could automate: getting people on your email list, sending them email campaigns, selling through emails, having them book on your calendar and automating those emails back to you, all of those things. But if the automations aren't strategic and the content that you're putting out there isn't strategic, it won't convert. And so that's one of the things I really want to dive into on the masterclass. There's so much content to go over. I'm not going to go over it here. That's why I've created a whole masterclass for it. But really diving into the strategy behind the automations, and you're going to get an opportunity to sort of audit your business, to see like, am I doing these things? Where could I improve on these things? And you'll end up with a score at the end to determine, okay, which areas should I be focusing on? And maybe which areas to focus on first, because you might find that you're missing a lot of the pieces. Susie says, I feel like my biggest mountain now is engaging people through my email list. I have one, but I'm not serving them. Yeah. So once you get those automations kind of set up, again, this dives into that strategy, and being able to leverage it all together. Intention, strategy, and the automations together are really what make a thriving business, and how we've been able to have multiple successful businesses and do them all at the same time, if that makes sense. Ashley, do you have anything you want to add to that?
I'm actually kind of curious because I know that, you got your start as a brand partner, right? And you guys started creating content to educate your people. What was your first sort of like aha moment where you realized that you could create leverage? Because I imagine what you were probably doing early on was creating graphics and putting them in like a Facebook group, for instance, right? For customer education. But like what was like a big aha for you as a brand partner?
Yeah, I mean, definitely the being able to do more with less. So being able to host events or classes. When I got started, Facebook classes were huge. They were all the rage. Everyone was doing them. So to be able to host something online where a lot of people could attend and I could educate multiple people at one time, there wasn't much automation involved in that until then you could schedule your posts, right? So then you could schedule them there. But that was just sort of like, as a brand partner, before we even got into learning about email funnels and all of that, that was really an aha moment of like being able to reach the masses with 1 hour of my time, or, so that whole concept of just being able to reach people far beyond just in-person one-on-one coffee chats. And that is really how I have managed to build and scale any of the businesses that we've had, is being able to reach many to one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's a really important thing. And for everyone here, especially if you're just kind of new to the techier side of things, or you are someone who maybe doesn't always get the distinction between should and could where it comes to complicating stuff. And believe me, I understand, we've been there. But what Chrissy just described is actually a very low tech concept of leverage, right? Like that's being able to show up in one place, and instead of introducing Young Living to one person, you could introduce Young Living to as many people can fit into that space and hear you, right? So this can be an in-person thing, but when you take things digital, the scale opportunity just goes through the roof. And I think that that's something that, in particular, what Chrissy and family has done with Grow Workspace in particular, it creates an opportunity for you to start using other ways to create leverage, right? So leveraging not just the volume of people you could put into a digital space, but maybe leveraging other people's work that you can maybe pay a nominal amount for, and now you have time that you didn't have to spend learning to use Canva and using Canva and then doing all of the stuff. You can actually shortcut your time, right? So I think a huge piece of building leverage actually comes from the smart application of your attention to people who know what they're talking about and have what you want, right? In terms of those results.
Yeah, definitely and so y'all that are showing up on here on these calls, kudos to you, because I'm going to go to where the knowledge is, right? I'm using this platform, and here are the people that created it and work with it every single day. I'm going to go straight to them for the answers. So, I know you're going to be superstars because you're showing up in the places where you need to be, learning from the people that you need to learn from. You only know what you know, or you don't know what you don't know until you know. I guess that's the saying, right? And so, yeah, it's showing up, it's asking questions and figuring out what's going to work for me, because everyone's business is different. And so I think that's another piece to the puzzle, is realizing that you can you can start your business, you can grow your business in a way that works best for you. It doesn't have to be like everyone else. But yes, you need a website if you want to look professional and you want to stand out. And yes, you need automations if you want to save time to be able to do more with less. And yes, you need strategy to actually convert those leads into customers and into loyalty rewards, members, and so on and so forth, and into brand partners. You need that strategy. So it's all the pieces together, and you can just start learning step by step. So I applaud you for showing up in the right place to learn and ask the right questions.
Yeah. Yeah, you really do have to, like, you have to show up boldly for the first time to be able to just share with one person. And you're just kind of going brick by brick, building this the system for yourself that allows you to be more impactful, to get more done, to do more things. And I think that the easiest way to, well, there's two easy ways to avoid overwhelm. The first is just to understand that this really is a brick by brick process. You're not going to just leap straight into working like somebody with a list of 1 million people and and a VO file of an even larger amount of people, right? Like nobody just wakes up tomorrow like as Marcella, right?
Right.
But if you want to move faster, there's that other option, right? So there's, we do need to go brick by brick. There is no skipping the bricks, but there are ways that you can learn to stack them up correctly and more quickly, so you don't have to see them fall down and break. So Chrissy, can you tell us about this masterclass that you're offering?
Yes, I'm excited. Before I do that, I just posted on my Instagram yesterday, you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to start to be great. And so that just really is the truth. And while you do have to go step by step, there's a lot of things that Ashley's learned and the team has learned and I have learned, in the 10 years I've been doing entrepreneurship, where I was like, oh man, that was a year wasted. Not really, because I learned a lot, but we can help you skip some of these big common pitfalls that people make so that you can actually do step by step much quicker than even we did. So, and part of that is we'll cover that in the masterclass. So the masterclass is called what is it called? It's called How to Automate Your Business and Increase Sales While You Sleep. And we're going to be talking, like I said, about some automations, some things that are holding you back with automations. Yes, perfect. You've got the page right here. And we're going to talk about some of the sneaky hidden obstacles preventing you from turning your prospects into paying customers. Like I mentioned before, you're going to get to do a business audit of your business to really find out where you might be missing the strategy. There are 6 key strategies that you should be implementing in your business, and we're going to cover those and help you get an idea of maybe where you're falling short and where you could make some simple improvements to just 10x your success.
Awesome.
And I think that's happening. It's happening Monday, 1:00 Eastern time, I believe. Let me check my calendar. Yeah, 1:00, 1:00 Eastern. I'm like, are we Eastern? Are we Central? 1:00 Eastern time. So we'll be there. Plan for an hour and 15 minutes. I think on there we have 90 minutes. We'll try and get you out a little bit early, but I like to talk. And if you guys have questions, I like to keep going. So
fantastic.
perfect.
All right. So
GetOiling.com masterclass. Awesome.
yeah, so you guys see the link here. Go to this link, GetOiling.com/masterclass. This is a free masterclass. Look, any opportunity that you have to, oh, there we go. Any opportunity that you guys have to sit and listen to somebody who's been where you are, who's gone where you want to be, is a great opportunity. It's a good way to spend your time. And this is a free one. So there's a lot there that Chrissy covers, obviously way more than we would be able to get into on a call like this. You do talk about automating. You're going to be talking about automating in the masterclass.
Yep, exactly.
Right. Yeah. So we're going to be talking here today on our call about some of the features and functions, but so how, like, what is an automation and GetOiling and campaigns and things like that. But if you want to really understand, like, literally how somebody does it and the strategy and the pieces that go together, you guys are going to want to check out that masterclass. So that's GetOiling.com/masterclass. Chrissy, is there anything else you'd like to share before we get into some show and tell here?
No, I think that, except for the fact that this is a private masterclass for you all, for you and Attractwell, the other platform that you guys have. So it's private for you. So it's going to be small and intimate. I highly, highly recommend showing up live. We will have a replay for you, but it's always best to show up live. You can ask questions and really get the most out of it. So I hope that you can kind of make time in your schedule, maybe shift some things around so that you can join us at 1:00 Eastern on Monday.
Awesome. Yeah, I can't recommend that enough, you guys. It's going to be a small environment, kind of like what we have here. You've actually seen Chrissy reading the chat and responding here. That happens there too. So it's a really great opportunity to take advantage of that. So let's see. I think Jackie had a question here about the masterclass, the link on that page, perhaps.
So it should be a class. It should be signing up to a live class. So I will just double check and verify on that.
Okay, awesome. Okay, yeah, so we'll double check that on the back end, but the link stays the same. It's the same link for you guys. So yeah, definitely check it out. That's GetOiling.com/masterclass. So while we're here and we've got Greg, let's talk real quick about a really exciting feature update to our system, and then we can get into some of these leverage creating features and functions in GetOiling. This particular features, just on the topic of leverage, has some pretty powerful implications for you if you are interested in basically creating as much automation as possible without removing the human element from how you share. So we'll talk a little bit about this after Greg shows. I'm excited to see this.
Yeah, and
thanks.
just quickly, that I'm gonna get you a different link, because that I want you all to. We've got some special things that I'm including for, so it's not going to be the Watch Now one. So don't enter your name in that one. I'll send you the link for the live one, because I have some really special things and I'm teaching some different things in that class. So I will go grab that while you guys move on.
Okay, sounds good.
Awesome. I will share this fun new feature here. the video tracking. Let me get the screen shared. Yeah, so this new feature allows you to send a link to someone and know when you basically know when by an alert, email, text, or app notification that somebody's opened to the video, started playing it, watched a certain percentage, or finished it. And it allows you to do certain actions along the way, like tagging them or running an automation. So it's it's a little change in the video library. So if you go under the content library menu here and click on videos and get to your videos, of course, you'd need a video that's uploaded here. All these awesome new features show up when you make sure that the video has this share with link box checked. There's a new little get link that appears here. Previously, you used to click on this, it would give you a shareable link. You can still get that. If you click get link and just hit get link again, this button, it'll copy a link to your clipboard that you can use to come over here, and it will just show the video. This is the same as it has before. So nothing's changed with that. It's just one extra click if you want the same old link. All the power comes under this new, if you check this box here to get a shareable link for a specific contact. At this point, you can type in a name, and I'll put one in here, and then you can start checking some of these boxes, like if you want to track the percentage of the video watch when they click the link. And even if you click this one, it expands some more options about playing the video, watching some of the video, finishing the video. So what these do, and I'll show you these, all four of these bottom ones, when they click the link, start playing, watching some, and finishing, they all have these same settings. So you can be notified by email, text, or app notification. You can tag people as they do this, like tag anyone who's clicked the link. Multiple tags. You can also run an automation if you'd like, create one here, or pick an existing automation. You can do that as well. That can all be triggered when they click the link, or if they start playing the video, you can move them to another step, like, okay, maybe they're going to get tagged with watched or started playing, or maybe you're going to do some certain things here. But when you get to these last two, there's a new setting as well that doesn't exist in these other two about what percentage of the video that this triggers on. So if they watch some of the video, you can define what some means by, possibly where there's a pitch or something like that inside your video, or there's a certain point where they've got kind of the main message, the rest is just kind of extra. You can set that percentage. So like if you want to dial it down to 35 or 70 or whatever number makes sense for you, then that'll choose the trigger point here. And the same with finishing the video. You can choose the percentage. Oftentimes you don't have to watch it to the exact end of the video. Most videos have a little bit of, fluff at the end. But, get it to the pitch, maybe it's 90%, something like that, but you can be notified. And then once you do that, you'll get and you click get link, you'll get a link that you can share. And it looks just like the one that I did here a minute ago. It'll look just like that. But the difference is you will be notified if you've checked these boxes. And so it also, once you click get link, it saves all your settings. So the next time you come in here, you don't have to go through all these settings and pick them and choose them, because it could, there's a lot of detail here that you can do. And once you get it like set up perfectly, you can just, it saves it. So for the next time. And the other cool feature with this too, so once you have that and you have a link, you can then send it to somebody. So like the purpose of this is, well, okay, you can send it to them on a messenger app, or maybe you text it, or I don't know, share it, so with them somehow. Once they've clicked on, well, actually even before they've clicked on it, you can view statistics. So this link has always existed, but now it has a few extra statistics in there about the sharing stats. So the new part is this section down here about the direct video sharing statistics. So you can see how many total you've sent this video to, how many contacts that clicked the link, how many watched some of the video, and how many finished watching the video. So it'll give you kind of a high level funnel overview of how far people are making it through here and how successful maybe that video is. Like if people click it and start watching the video, but they don't make it to the middle, then maybe they're, the video needs something more exciting. It's basically, you can use it to tune the marketing. So anyway, yeah, and you can generate one of these links for any contact that you want, or many contacts, and it's a great way to share opportunities and such. So anyway, I thought we would like this feature. This has been one that's been requested for some time. So we also have a help article. If in case you didn't do this, go search for video tracking, and Colin put together this pretty extensive article that goes in depth in that in the help center. Just click the help button over here and search for video tracking. It actually comes right up if you're inside the My Videos area. It'll go there and show you that help article. So yeah, exciting stuff. I'm excited to see what you all use this for.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. So just to put an idea in your minds, you guys, this is so exciting. Imagine having your website set up in such a way that, let's just say, for instance, and here's a tip to build some leverage. Chrissy mentioned doing classes online, right? So things that educate about Young Living, right? So you could do that in person, you know, in your local area, and maybe a couple of people can show up. Or you could do it online, and it doesn't matter how many people show up, because if you're recording the call, everything that you just created on that recorded call is something that you could use in the future, right? So let's just say you take that recorded call, you've got it uploaded to your videos in GetOiling, you put a landing page in front of it, right? And you tell them if they put in their name and email, they'll be able to get instant access to this workshop where they can learn X, Y, and Z thing that you taught once, and you don't have to teach again because now it's in a video. And maybe you start introducing the opportunity to buy Young Living products. Maybe it's a particular thing that you talk about. Maybe you're even talking about the opportunity in this video, whatever that might be. You know that at 40 minutes in, that is when you actually start talking about product, right? So what if you could automate how you follow up with somebody based on whether they watch the video at all? So following up, hey, just a reminder, this is still available for you. Or following up and saying, hey, remember when I said this thing? It's available here. And then moving them into a sequence that sells, right? Because you don't want to pitch somebody on something that they actually haven't seen the video for, right? So you can absolutely create these conditional response circumstances, right? Where you don't have to think about what you need to do. You don't have to spend your time worrying who has done what. You can actually strike while the iron is hot, right? And follow up with somebody because you know that they've watched the video. So you could be notified, or you could even just have the system automatically handle the follow-up for you based on what the contact has done. It's just so cool. It's just so stinking cool. So by the way, Greg has worked his magic, and you can still go to getoiling.com/masterclass. It just goes to the right page now. So you guys check that out, and definitely sign up for that masterclass. You're going to be very happy you did. Chrissy is an absolute pro at this stuff. She has, she's got Grow Workspace. If you guys are familiar, check them out on our partners page. That is an incredible way for you to create leverage in your business. That is to choose to not wear all of the hats and do all of the things, focus more on your zone of genius, and choose to collect things from places like Grow Workspace that you can use that save you time. Instead of you creating an entire class on Ningxia Red, go use the one that Chrissy and Claire made. It's gorgeous. It's compliant, and it works really well, and it has been working really well for people for a long time, right? So that's just one example of something that you can do. And I actually created like a little baby list for myself here to make sure that you guys know exactly where these things are, what it is that you can do, and sort of where you might want to start on your journey with building leverage into your business. Susie, if you go to Grow Workspace, and that's on the GetOiling website, if you go to our partners page, I'll actually show you here. It's actually in the content tab. Let me find here we go. Yeah, if we go to getoiling.com, go right up here to content. Grow Workspace is right here. So you can go over here and learn more. And actually with Grow Workspace, and this is the first thing that I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about that we have available that's plug and play in your GetOiling system. And that is an education center for your customers. One of the things that takes up the most time for Young Living brand partners is customer education, right? And unless you are Young Living with all of Young Living's content, it's kind of hard for you to come up with what to say, how to say it, right, to educate appropriately so that people, will want to add something to their next order, right? So using tools like what they create with Grow Workspace is one way to do it, but they've also created an incredible shortcut for you. Christy was actually on a couple weeks ago. They ran a special sale on a customer education portal. So it's actually like you go into your member area and you've got all of these Grow Workspace classes there. That's something I highly recommend just purchasing. That's a really smart move. It plugs straight into your GetOiling system. But if you're wanting to do something fully DIY, let me show you where you can go to learn how to create something like that in your GetOiling system. One of the many things that lives over here in the Success Academy, which, by the way, one thing that we don't talk about enough on these calls is that if you ever want help and it's not a Thursday, there are live calls here with group help calls, and Pam is doing incredible things with folks on these calls, building websites, just getting a lot done. And so there are hours here outside of these that we're on. So definitely check that out. But if you go over here under online resources and courses, and you come right over here to this, how to move your groups off of Facebook. This is a course that will walk you through step by step everything that you need to do to create a space for your customers to go to be educated so that you don't have to hand feed everyone information as you go. You create basically an oasis where people can go and self-serve. If they're thirsty, there's water there to drink. You don't have to go and get it for them, right? So that's one of the first and most important things that you're going to want to make sure that you do is leverage that member area that you have inside of your GetOiling account. That's your own member area on your own website. Create your community there and build it. Again, it's brick by brick thing. You obviously can take a massive leverage shortcut by taking advantage of a pre-built customer education center that you can get from Grow Workspace, but you also can just one piece at a time, learn something new, put it in there, right? Now, another thing that, so we've talked about importing partner content, right? So getting content from our partners page. We've talked about our member education center. Let's talk about my favorite time saver. And I think it's probably my most used time saver in our system, and that is saved replies. If you ever find yourself saying something and then saying it again, or if you say something, you like how you said it and you want to make sure you can say it again later, or maybe there's a link or a group of links that you share often, use saved replies. Get out of the habit of just stuffing things into your brain or leaving them on sticky notes or in random places in your digital world, and create saved replies. So you're going to find those in GetOiling under your content library. So if we go to saved replies here and we go and create one, you'll see that we've got tons of options here, even using existing saved replies to create something. And these are really useful for lots of different things. But for the purpose of what we're talking about here today in creating leverage, this is a place to capture things that you say or share often. It can be in email form or in text form, and you can easily go and drop this saved reply into a message, into a broadcast, into your member area, into a lesson, right? And you could even use these for the basis of a blog post. If you want to send out newsletters, pre-create your newsletters and simply use your saved reply to make modifications. So you're using the same format every month when you're sending that out. You don't have to go and redesign something from scratch every time you need to make something. So that's creating a leverage tool for you to use, right? Now, campaigns are another really powerful way to incorporate automation and build leverage into the way that you work. I think that the most powerful way to use them for a brand partner is for your customer onboarding. It's also good for education. You just want to make sure that you're allowing people to self-select, because we are emailing people. And if they didn't say they wanted to get 12 emails about Ningxia Red, we probably shouldn't send them 12 emails about Ningxia Red, right? But if they say yes, absolutely, have it ready. By the way, Grow Workspace, they have campaigns just like this that talk about Ningxia Red. So if we go back over here to our contacts menu and we go to campaigns, this is where we can create a campaign. New customer onboarding is a fantastic place to start. There are also, let me see if I go to the very last page here, we do have some built-in campaigns. So here's a new customers campaign, and we do have them for different markets. So here we actually do have one that's already made for you. Leverage this, use this. Use this. It's already done. It's a tool that you can use, right? Or you could go in and make a copy of this campaign and make it your own. That's something that you have the ability to do as well. So something like this, you just apply and it gets the information out. It's dripped out effectively over time. And of course, you don't have to show up belly to belly and say the same thing to this person and then to the next 14 that you sign up, right? This allows you to do more in less time and to be just as effective in doing so. Now, the final piece, and this is a bit more complex, but it's also very exciting, and that is automations. And you're going to find automations also under the context menu under settings. We do have dedicated trainings about automations and different ways to use them. But essentially what you can do with your automations is bundle together different things that need to happen in your business. And actually, I think one of my favorite examples of using this is to use a series of automations. So let's just say, for instance, when you are getting acquainted with somebody, you're prospecting, you are wanting to make sure that you cover a couple of specific bases. You want to remember to follow up with that person if you haven't communicated with them in a week or something like that, just to touch base. And then, of course, you eventually want to invite them to have some kind of experience, right? If they're going to be in person with you, if it's a class, if it's watching a video, whatever that might be. So you can essentially give yourself a checklist with a follow-up plan, but maybe you want to make sure that you're also sending a nice to meet you email, and you want to make sure that this person is tagged in a particular way. So instead of having to remember that you need to do all of those things in your GetOiling system, you can add them all to an automation and simply apply the automation to that person, right? To that contact in your system. So all of those things happen. And automations can also remove the actions of other automations. So let's just say that this person has all of the actions applied here that your automation offers, and it's time to maybe get them started as a new customer, right? So now their tag needs to change, the follow-up plan needs to change, the campaign needs to change, and all of that. Well, an automation can satisfy all of that. So my recommendation is to actually create an automation during different phases of your prospecting. And then, of course, as someone moves into maybe becoming a brand new customer, maybe you've got an automation that covers everything you need to do in the first 90 days with a new customer. And then maybe you've got things that are related to becoming a brand partner. But to create an automation here, just to be fast, we've got maybe this is our a new lead is what I'm going to call it. And I'm going to add a tag. So this is going to be Young Living Lead. I'm going to add that tag. I'm going to add a campaign that maybe I created that just has one message that says, hey, it was so great to meet you, or something like that, right? So I can pop a campaign in here. Right, I can remove a previous automation's action. So if there's another campaign that they're attached to, or that's attached to that contact, we can go and remove a campaign or restart a campaign, right? So these are all things that you have the ability to do. And obviously there's loads more you can do with automations there. But what I want to encourage you to do is, sort of looking at your business, taking a step back from it, right? So that you can work on it, because you're not in it, and look at the sort of phases that you're working in. When you're doing this particular thing, what's the goal? What are the steps that are related to it, right? How can I create something that saves me time? What do I repeat, right? What can I use? And then what can I put together so that I can make sure I'm doing the same thing every time I do that thing, right? And so we're kind of building up to a place where we have things like automations that support the different phases of our prospecting or sales cycle. So I know it's a lot, but what you really are going to benefit from is going to getoiling.com/masterclass and signing up for Chrissy's masterclass that they're offering on Monday. I think you're going to enjoy that a great deal. It's all very specific and functional, actionable to a brand partner. And of course, everything that she teaches uses GetOiling, right? So there's not new tech to learn here. You'll just get better at doing what you're already doing because you're here. So if you guys have questions, or if anyone would like to review work together, if you maybe have ideas for how you might want to build leverage into a process of your business, into something that you do, we can certainly talk through that. We can talk about a strategy to set something like that up. We have the remainder of the call for that if you guys would like to talk about that. Florence, I see your hand up. If you could let me know if you would like to come out to talk, or oh, I see, maybe that was an accident. Okay, no problem. Yeah, so let's talk about this. I know, Susie, you mentioned you are actively working on building leverage into your business. You're using automations, you're simplifying the more complex things you might have been doing before. Okay, so you have a question here in the chat. Is there a way to import a saved reply onto a page? That would be cool, but it's not the same coding. Like there's not like a pop one into the other. So no, there's depending on what it is that you're doing, you could certainly format a page section. So here's what I would do. If I wanted to have a page section that I use over and over again, if I know, for instance, that I'm going to have a section of a page that's always going to talk about ways to work with me, right? This would be, I think, a pretty functional example here. So if I know that I'm going to have a work with me section that I want to add to all of the pages on my website, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a page that is just for that section, because I know I'm going to be using it everywhere. And if you happen to create it and it's on a page that you already have, I'll show you how you can basically do the same thing that I'm going to be showing you here in a moment. But this is what I would do. So I'm just going to go blank because I don't want a whole page. I'm going to start with a blank page, and I'm going to use one of these section templates. And since this is a work with me section, I'm going to be linking off to different ways to work with me. And I'm going to use a 3-column section for that purpose. And here I'm going to use this one because it's got some images, it has a header. I can accomplish everything that I want with a section like this. So here I will call this work with me. I would, obviously talk about, learn how we can work together. Here's what I can do for you. That's what I would put here. In this case, I'm actually going to delete this text. The reason why I'm doing that is because I'm going to have text perhaps underneath, or I could have images here that kind of denote what it is that we're talking about, right? So maybe we're going to just pop into Canva here and create something. So this is a square, that's a logo in Canva. So we're going to create something here, and maybe I will say wellness scan. Maybe I offer wellness scans, right? So maybe here I'll say book a wellness scan. And of course I want to make it cute, right? So I'll find, just some kind of nice background image that I can put in here. Here I'll find a photo maybe. How about this? We'll make this the image background. Here we go. We'll pop we'll put some color behind here. And then I can just create a series of these that I'll use effectively as buttons in that section. All right. So I'll have book a wellness scan. I will have buy oils from me, or whatever that might be. Right. So I'm going to set this section up just as I want it. And then I'm going to, and of course, link off to where you want it to go. I'm going to name this work with me section. If I could type today, work with me section. I'm going to make that available by link only. There's no header, there's no footer. I am not going to be using this as its own page. I'm actually going to be using this to import into other pages to make my life super easy. So I'll hit done and save. And maybe I'm creating a new page on my website. So I'm going to go and maybe I'm creating a home page. So here's a home page template. So now in my work with me section that perhaps I want to put down here, I'm going to click plus right here so I can add. And then there's this copy in another page button. So here I can find that section that I created and I can copy it right in, right? So this would be very similar to creating like a saved reply, except for a web page, right? Now, the other thing that you could do, if there was a section like this that you really loved, that's in a page, like you built it while you were building the other page, what you can absolutely do is copy in another page entirely and then just delete the sections that you don't want, right? So if I really liked the header section from another page that I created, I could actually go here and pop that in, right? So I can just go right here, copy it in, and it is going to import the entirety of the page. That's why I like to use the sections, right? But that is how I would go about doing that. Thanks for that question. I don't think anybody's asked that before. I do very much like that idea of like having that sort of modular pop things into pages. Let me see. So I list somewhere of what all the possible automations are. Do you want to be here forever? I don't think that there is like a list that would encompass everything that you can do. There's just so very, very much. If there's something, and Greg, thank you. You've popped the help article in here, and we've also done weekly work sessions on this. We've done some more advanced training on this in a couple of places, definitely on our Attractwell channel. You know what? If you really want to dive into using automations and kind of incorporating them into the holistic view of your business, definitely consider going over here to the Success Academy, online resources and courses, this marketing mastery workshop. Really almost everything that you'll want to know, you're going to find in there. And it's in the context of growing your Young Living business and doing it with as much leverage as possible. We should be charging for this. You should take advantage of this. It is sequential. They're small steps. And actually that system that I was talking about where, you can have that sort of pipeline of automations. I actually talk about that in here and even give away a resource bundle with that pre-built kind of teaching you how to use it. So definitely make sure you guys check that out if you haven't already. Yeah, big fan of create once and reuse. That is honestly, in the world of what we do, that's the key to creating leverage, right? I mean, obviously your business model as a brand partner is one that is built on this concept of leverage, right? Like I will go out and do the work of helping people get results with amazing products. And if I do a really good job at that, some of those people are going to love the product so much that they want to do what I do, right? They want to go tell people about it, right? Maybe they want to make some money on the side. Maybe they're really bought into the cause too, right? And so then you're working together, and the way that the structure works, you benefit from that, right? Like that's actually something that a lot of businesses are adopting that now. So so you have that built into how you make money. You also have the ability to take that philosophy and just apply it to what you do. So I think anytime you create something, anytime you do something, just ask yourself, maybe if on your computer, on the wall, somewhere next to where you work, maybe just make a little note for yourself that says, is this something I can reuse? Can I reuse this? Right? And then start thinking about when you create things, building them for reuse, intentionally knowing I'm going to create something that I want to be able to use again, right? So how can I make this something that can be adaptable in that way? And of course, if you guys want guidance on that, we would love to help you, especially on a call just like this one. All right, Susie says, would that work with me section that you just put on a page be better than just a links page? Well, a links page that has a very specific purpose. So a links page, if you guys don't know, for anyone who's here and is unclear on that, that's like a link in bio page, like a link tree page. You'll typically see that in like an Instagram bio, for instance, or a Twitter or X bio, where somebody will say link in bio, and then you've got all the links that go where they need to go. Those are pages that need to be very mobile friendly, because most of the time, people don't really use Instagram on their computers, right? It's a phone thing. And so that serves as a really, really functional, familiar interface for people to initially interact with you and move off of that platform. So that has a really specific use. And I recommend just creating a page like that using maybe the training that we created with the resource bundle of the page that we gave away with that, or even using the built-in template that we have, and just having that on its own. But that work with me section, if you're going to have an about me page, you're going to have a home page, you're going to have a whatever, right? You're going to have lots of pages on your website. Maybe there's a page where you talk about, why you love Young Living, or you've got sort of a page that talks about concepts that you cover in your blog posts in greater depth, or something like that, right? On all of those pages, there's an opportunity for you to insert work with me, right? There's also an opportunity for you to insert here my latest blog post, right? And we actually have a section that will automatically populate your latest blog post. It's actually it's in the section templates when you're building pages. So yeah. Oh, work with me would be a link on the page. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. It better be. Yeah, have a link there to give something away for free, right? So that you can collect leads. And then 100%, if you've got options to work with you, maybe on that page, there's a book a discovery call is one of those options. Then you could put that there as well. But I wouldn't design it like you saw me design it on a link page. It needs to be a button just like you would have on a link tree. But maybe it goes to a page on your website that is a work with me page. Or maybe it goes to, some other thing that you're using to collect leads or move people into a funnel of yours. That's a really great idea. Having a page that has all of your free stuff on it. So a free stuff page is also a great thing that you could put in a space like that, for sure. Awesome. Let me see. There's a question here in the Q&A. Hi, Paula. I would like to be able to use a saved reply in my store products. Okay. I am not super duper well versed in the store. I don't think, Greg, we don't have a way to incorporate saved replies or plug a saved reply into our store listings yet, do we?
I'm guessing not. I don't remember offhand, but probably not if Paul is asking about it.
Yeah.
So I'm sure I just added it to our wish list.
Awesome.
Good idea.
Awesome. Yeah. So that'll go on the wish list. That would be super useful. Thank you for that. Awesome. Well, do you guys have any other questions before we get going? Remember, getoiling.com/masterclass. Make sure that you sign up. Take advantage of that opportunity to learn from Chrissy on Monday. And yeah, I'm really excited to see what you guys get from that. She's always giving away great value on the calls that she hosts. If anybody here has been on a masterclass with her, feel free to let folks know how great it was. And till then, we will see you guys in our Facebook group. We'll be back here same time next week. Maybe we'll go into a little bit more depth about this new video feature that we talked about today and some of the exciting things you can do with it. We look forward to hearing from you in the meantime. And until then, have a great week, everybody.